Welcome my dear friends to my channel Knowledge Trend. Today we will discuss about the terminologies used in the obstetric. Okay, we will start just now. First, what is gravidity? Gravidity means the number of time a woman gets pregnant. Okay, the gravidity is also different types. That's nulli gravida. If a woman is not pregnant till now, okay, then that's known as what? G0, and it's known as what? Nulli gravida. Okay, and if the woman gets pregnant for the first time, then the woman is known as gravida 1, or known as what? Primi gravida. Okay, if the woman is get pregnant for second time, then the woman is known as gravida 2, or known as what? Multi gravida. Okay, if the woman third time, then it's known as G gravida 3. Okay, if the woman get pregnant for n time, then the woman is known as GN. Okay, means the up to 2 times of the pregnancy is known as what? Multi gravida. Okay, then parity. What is parity? The number of times that she has given birth to a fetus with a gestational age of 20 weeks or more. If a woman is aborted or miscarriage before the 20 weeks, then that pregnancy is not known as abortion. Okay, if the woman get pregnancy but before 20 weeks it's aborted or miscarriage, then that's known as what? Abortion. The total number of induced abortion or miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy before 20 weeks is known as abortion. If the woman just get pregnancy and pass the 20 weeks with successfully and birth a fetus, maybe that the fetus is dead, maybe that fetus is weak, maybe that fetus is live and healthy. Okay, that's known as what? Parity. The number of times the woman give birth to a fetus with a gestational age of 20 weeks or more is known as what? Parity. Parity is otherwise known as also para. Okay, so when a pregnant woman comes to the hospital, then we have to in every cases whose cases comes to the hospital, we have to take some history of that person. Okay, so if a pregnant woman comes to the hospital, then we take the obstetric history. The obstetric history is taken like this. Okay, what is this? Listen, here this is the gravida 2, means the woman is get pregnancy for 2 times, but from that one baby is birth and another is aborted. The one baby is birth to the birth after 20 weeks, but another baby is aborted or miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy for which it's aborted before 20 weeks. Okay, so we written it as G2, P1 and A1. Okay, if the woman get pregnant for 3 times and from that 2 babies get birth and before after 20 weeks and one is aborted before 20 weeks, then we written it in the obstetric history like G3, P2 and A1. Okay, if the mother is get pregnant for 4 times, but there is no live birth, all 4 are get aborted, then we write it at G4, P0 and A4. Okay, if the woman get pregnant for 3 times and the live birth is 3 and the abortion is 0, then the obstetric history of the woman is written as G3, P3 and A0. If a woman comes to the hospital in her first pregnancy, okay, then we written it the pregnancy is 1, okay, and no live birth, no abortion, so it's wrong process. Okay, we just take the history of the before time, not the present time. Okay, obstetric history we take the before time, so here only 0 pregnancy, 0 live birth, 0 abortion. That's only the previous history we will take. Okay, then goes to what next, gestation. What is gestation? Gestation is the carrying of an embryo or fetus inside a female viviparous animal. Mammal during pregnancy can have one or more gestation at the same time. Listen, what is gestation? The period of time or the period of months or year the fetus is grow in the mother's uterus is known as what? Gestation. Okay, the time interval of the gestation is known as gestational period. In human obstetric, gestational age refers to the embryonic or fetal age plus 2 weeks. This is approximately duration of the sign since the woman's last menstrual period began. Listen, the gestational age is from the date of LMP, last menstrual period, plus 40 weeks. Okay, but in the embryonic age or fetal age, it's LMP, last menstrual period, plus 40 weeks minus 2 weeks. Okay, means it's what? It is LMP plus the embryonic age is LMP plus 38 weeks. Okay, so if from the gestational age, that is the embryonic age 2 weeks less, then the gestational age 2 weeks more than the embryonic age. Okay, then next, trimester. The pregnancy, the whole period of the pregnancy is divided into 3 parts: first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester. Okay, the first trimester is considered is from the date of last menstrual period up to 12 weeks. Okay, generally up to last menstrual period up to 12 weeks. And the second trimester is considered from the 13 weeks to 28 weeks. Okay, and the third trimester is considered after 28 weeks up to the day of delivery. Okay, then preterm birth. It is the birth of baby between 24 or 37 weeks of gestational age. If the baby is get birth from in the period of 24 to 37 weeks, then the baby is known as what? Preterm baby. Okay, that birth is known as what? Preterm birth. And the premature infant are at greater risk for short and long-term complication, including disabilities and impediments in growth and mental development. If the baby is preterm, so that the growth and the mental development also okay, not full term, it's also the growth and the mental development of the baby is also the preterm. Okay, and maybe there is some disabilities, maybe some organs are not fully developed, for which the so many complications may be appear, for which we take after the neonatal care is present. Okay, when the baby get birth between 1 minute and the after then 5 minutes, we take Apgar score. Then consider the mild, moderate and severe depression of the baby and give care according to the need, and find out the complications and give care according to the complication will be develop, it will be cured. Okay, so that's preterm. Then postterm birth. Post maturity is when a baby has not yet been born after 42 weeks of the gestation. If the baby is born after 42 weeks, then that's known as postterm birth. Okay, then different babies will show different symptoms of the post maturity. The most common symptom are dry skin, overgrown nails, creases on the baby's palm and soles of their feet, and minimal fat, a lot of hair on their head, and either a brown, green or yellow discoloration of their skin. Some post-mature babies will show no or light sign of the post-maturity. Okay, then attitude. Attitude means the baby is in which form, that's in the flexed form or extended form. Okay, normally baby's attitude is normal. Fetal attitude is the relationship of the fetal body parts in its to itself, how the baby's body parts are present with his or her own body parts. Okay, like the hands and legs flexed or extended. Okay, the normal attitude of a baby is flexed. Just listen, just an example. If you are normally soft and your behavior is normal, then it's accepted behavior of in the society, and that's the acceptable attitude of you in the society. But if you are very rude and aggressive and you have no any inside, you are a psychological disability person, then your this attitude is not acceptable in our society. It's just a abnormality. Like that, if the baby is in flexed position, the body parts of the baby are to itself are flexed, then that's the normal attitude. Okay, if the baby's body parts are in extended position, then it's known as what? Extension or extension attitude. You see, it's the flexed attitude, and this is a picture of the extended attitude of a fetal in the mother's uterus. Then engagement, when the baby is comes in contact with the pelvis for what? For birth. Okay, engagement occurs when the largest diameter of the fetal head fits into the largest diameter of the maternal pelvis. You see, this is the maternal pelvis. The largest diameter is the upper part of the mother's pelvis. When the largest diameter of the fetal head is comes in contact with the largest diameter of the mother's pelvis, that's known as engagement. Okay, this is just consider, this is a man and this is a woman. They are just get engaged through a ring. Okay, they are just get engaged through a ring. That's engagement. They are just comes in contact. Okay, then as the fetal head engages, the head moves towards the pelvic brim in either the left or right occipital transverse position. Okay, this allows the widest part of the fetal head to fit through the widest part of the pelvic inlet. Okay, then descent, when the baby is in the engagement position, then that comes to the descent. Here the baby descends through the pelvic inlet towards the pelvic floor. This is the widest part of the pelvic pelvic floor, and this is the inlet. This is the inlet, and this is the outlet, and this is known as what? Pelvic floor. The baby is after engagement comes towards down, descends through the pelvic inlet towards the pelvic floor. Okay, descent occurs due to the uterine contraction, amniotic fluid pressure, abdominal muscle contraction. Okay, when the labor pain is start, the baby is gradually comes descent toward from the inlet of the pelvic towards the pelvic floor. Okay, then lie. It is the relationship of the longitudinal axis of the fetus to longitudinal axis of the mother's pelvis. Okay, in a woman have pelvic, and in which axis the baby is present. Okay, that's in longitudinal axis, transverse axis. In which axis the baby is present, that's known as what? Lie. The most common lie is the longitudinal axis. If the baby is in longitudinal axis, then the delivery and the pass of the baby from the through the pelvic floor will be easy. Okay, you can see here in this picture. Okay, here the baby is in longitudinal vertex presentation, and here the breech presentation. Okay, why it's known as the baby's buttock is in contact with the pelvis is first visible, so it's known as a longitudinal breech presentation, and this is in the transverse axis. Okay, transverse axis, longitudinal axis. Okay, then presentation. The presentation means what? What we see first. What we see first during delivery, that's presentation. It refers to the which anatomical part of the fetus is leading. Which anatomical parts first leads to comes out from the mother's uterus through vagina to outside and movement. Okay, during delivery, which part is leads to come out? That's known as presentation. Okay, fetus, then that is the closest to the pelvic inlet of the birth canal just before the birth. According to this, the leading part, this is identified as cephalic, breech and shoulder presentation. The presentation is different types. What? That are what? Cephalic presentation, breech presentation and shoulder presentation. But the normal presentation is what? Cephalic presentation. Here you can see. When the baby's head is comes out through the pelvic, that's known as what? The normal presentation, and that is what? Cephalic presentation. If the presentation is not cephalic, then that's known as malpresentation. The other positions like breech presentation, shoulder presentation are the malpresentation of the fetus. Okay, a malpresentation is any other presentation than a vertex presentation with the top of the head first. Okay, it could be breech shoulder presentation. That's, you can see it is a breech presentation. The baby's buttock is first visible for birth. Okay, first to birth. Here you can see this is shoulder presentation. The shoulder is first leads to comes out. Okay, it's brow presentation, it's face presentation. Okay, then what? Position. In which position the baby comes out. Okay, it is the relationship of the specific fetal denominator to maternal denominator. Okay, then it includes occipito anterior, occipito posterior, occipito transverse. Here what we say, which organ is just lead to comes out. Here which what we say, what we see that in which position the baby comes out. That's the anterior, posterior, transverse. Which position the baby comes out. Okay, here it is the relationship of specific fetal denominator to maternal denominator. It includes occipito anterior, occipito posterior, occipito transverse, and normal position is the occipito anterior position. Okay, I will see later. Then malposition. If the baby's position is other than occipito anterior, that's known as what? Malposition. Okay, then you can see this is the longitudinal presentation. This is the cephalic presentation. It's not a, these are the lie. Okay, this is a longitudinal. This is the longitudinal cephalic presentation, and this is what? The breech presentation. You can see here. This is the cephalic. The head leads to comes out. This is the buttock leads to comes out. It's known as what? Breech, and this is cephalic. Okay, then the position and anterior, occipito anterior. Here you can see the babies is totally the occipital area is comes out. Occipito anterior. Occipital area is comes in the anterior position. Occipito anterior. If then occipito right occipito anterior. Then right occipito transverse. Right occipito posterior position. Okay. Then it's not occipito posterior. Occipital area is in posterior position. Okay. Here, if the baby baby get birth, here what happens? The occipital is not in anterior. It's the occipital is in posterior position. The face is in anterior position. Okay, and then left occipito posterior, left occipito transverse, and left occipito anterior position. Okay, these are the different types of the position of the baby during birth. Okay, then molding. You know, in babies there are the fontanelles are present. The skull, in the skull there is the skull are not fixed completely. Okay, the frontal, anterior, frontal, occipital, temporal, parietal lobes have their sutures, and in the adult what happens? Gradually the sutures comes close and that's get hard. Okay, but in baby the suture are not attached, they are loose and they are separate. Okay, you can see here in the baby, this is frontal lobe, this is parietal lobe, this is occipital lobe, and this is temporal lobe. Okay, here there is the sutures are separated, they have no any contact, and gradually they becomes attached. Okay, molding, what happens when the baby is gets birth through the vaginal canal. The vaginal canal is what, very narrow. Okay, as there is the contraction and relaxation and the hormones are there, the canal get widened, but not as the baby's head. Okay, here what happens, the baby tries to comes out with adjustment. So is the skull is the hardest part, then will it comes out? No, through. So is the sutures are not attached, it's separated, so the sutures are get overlapped. Or you can see in this picture, the sutures are get overlapped and the head also become narrower, for which it's easiest to comes out through the vagina. Okay, it is the process which effectively reduces the diameter of the fetal skull. Okay, and encourages the progress of delivery through maternal pelvis without harming the fetal brain. Okay, it is achieved due to the following characteristics of the fetal skull: ununited structure, ununited sutures. Okay, that's I say that the sutures are separated, they are not attached, and which helps the bones to move together and overlap during delivery, and compressible nature of the bones, anterior and posterior fontanelles are present. Okay, then effacement. Effacement means when the the delivery takes place, the cervix become dilated and open, for which the baby birth takes place. That's known as effacement. Effacement is the process by which the cervix shortens in length as it is become included in the lower segment of the uterus. Okay, and the cervical or cervical os cannot usually begin to dilate until effacement is complete. Okay, gradually the effacement is continued. You can see in the first step the cervix is not effaced or dilated, there is no any soften and the dilation of the cervix. And here the cervix is effaced and not dilated. Here the attachment is there is some stretch but it's not dilated. Here what happens, cervix is 100% effaced and dilated to 3 cm. Okay, and here cervix is fully dilated up to 10 cm. Okay, then next, episiotomy. Okay, when there is congestion of the baby birth. Okay, then what happened, the surgeon or the gynecologist who is there, okay, in the labor room, say that they conduct a cut. Okay, that's known as episiotomy. That's through the what, that's in two position, that's medial and lateral. Okay, that's what, midline incision and mediolateral incision. Okay, episiotomy is a surgically planned incision on the perineum. Okay, and the posterior vaginal wall during second stage of labor. Okay, what is perineum? Perineum is from the vagina, the end of the from the vulva up to the what, anus. Okay, what happens during delivery when there is congestion, the baby is not get birth easily, then if necessary, then we perform the episiotomy. What happens here, two types of incision we will give in the episiotomy case. First is midline episiotomy incision and the mediolateral incision. Okay, it is also known as what, perineotomy. Episiotomy is also known as perineotomy. You can see here, is the baby's head is congested, not comes out, so what happens, so we perform a midline or what, mediolateral episiotomy or incision. Okay, then crown to rump length. This is a picture of the ultrasound. Okay, measurement of the top of the baby's head to the buttock of the baby. Here, through the ultrasound report, we perform the measurement of the baby's from head up to the buttock of the baby's length. Okay, in the what, crown to rump length. Then Chadwick sign. If you see my previous video on obstetric and gynecology, that's the physiological changes during pregnancy. That was my topic in the previous video. You can I was describing that video. That's Chadwick sign. Okay, Chadwick sign is otherwise known as what, Jacquemus sign. Okay, when is the vagina is there during pregnancy, what happens, the vascularity is increased to the vagina, and the to surrounding the vagina, the venous plexus are there. As the vascularity is increased, the bluish coloration of the vagina takes place, and that's the vaginal mucosa is seen as bluish color. That's known as what, Chadwick sign or Jacquemus sign. Okay, dark blue or purple discoloration of the mucosa of the vagina and cervix during pregnancy is known as the Chadwick sign or Jacquemus sign. Okay, then NSVD. What's that? Normal spontaneous vaginal delivery. If the delivery is through vagina is normal, first time, second time, third time, that's known as NSVD, normal spontaneous vaginal delivery. If SBDs, that's same as NSVD. Okay, then cesarean section. When the vaginal delivery is not possible, then we perform what, cesarean. Okay, then the primary cesarean section and secondary cesarean section. If the mother is delivered through the cesarean for first time, that's known as what, primary cesarean section. If the mother get cesarean delivery second time, means the first baby, the previous baby is birth through cesarean also, then the second time cesarean is also known as what, secondary cesarean section. Then VBAC, vaginal birth after cesarean. Okay, the mother is interested through to perform the delivery through vagina, but the before delivery of the woman was cesarean. There is so many risks and complications, so we have to describe the complications to the mother. After all, we will try for the labor through vagina, but we must have to say them about the complication and what will happen if after the cesarean the vaginal delivery will be performed. Okay, the mother has had a previous cesarean section delivery but has now delivered vaginally. That's known as VBAC. There is a small amount of risk, less than 1%, that the old surgical scar on the uterus will rupture when VBAC is attempted. So mothers who wish to attempt a VBAC must understand the risk and sign and informed consent, that so they are aware of the risk and benefits. Okay, then TOL, that's trial of labor. If a woman has or had a previous cesarean birth, wants to a VBAC, she is said to be undergoing a trial of labor when her contraction start. Okay, then VAD, vacuum assisted delivery. I think you guys seen already the Three Idiots movie. In the last scene of the Three Idiots movie, the hero get the baby's birth through a tube, and in the front of the tube there is a funnel accept, that's known as what, vacuum. Okay, that was made by the hero. Okay, but actually that delivery is known as what, vacuum assisted delivery. When the mother is not able to push the baby out, and if the baby is not able to comes out, then the vacuum assisted delivery will be takes place. The doctor applies a suction cap to the baby's head and gently draws it out when the mother is too tired to push effectively anymore, but the baby is very low in the pelvis. Okay, then in that case the doctor perform the vacuum assisted delivery. Then You can see this is the vacuum assisted delivery. The baby is in the lower position of the pelvis, and maybe there is the mother is not very tired to push. Okay, so or maybe there any complication of the mother for which the mother will not push the baby. At that time we will perform the delivery through vacuum assisted. Okay, then miscarriage. uh, you study about the abortion. If there is the baby is get aborted or miscarriage, or there is the due to ectopic pregnancy, the baby get aborted before 20 weeks, that's known as what, abortion or miscarriage. Okay, miscarriage is the spontaneous end of pregnancy before 20 weeks. Okay, actually the 24 weeks are mentioned in the old books, but now it's 20 weeks. Okay, 20 weeks of the gestation. In the old books you will uh, see that there is 24 weeks will be there, but in the new that's 20 weeks. Okay, then probable signs. What are the probable signs of the miscarriage? Low back pain and abdominal pain, that is dull, sharp and cramping pain of the low back and abdominal. Then tissue and clot like material that passes through the vagina, and the vaginal bleeding takes place with or without abdominal cramp. Okay, what are the causes of the miscarriage? Most common cause of the chromosomal abnormality. Okay, other causes, what are that? That's progesterone deficiency, malformed uterus, cervical weakness. If the hormone is not uh, fully is necessary, then it will be maybe not grow properly and it will be miscarriage. Otherwise the malformed uterus, if the uterus is not fully developed to carry for implantation of the fetus, then what happen? That there will be miscarriage. If the cervical weakness, if the cervix is not tight, it will not act as a sphincter to keep the fetus inside the mother's womb, then there will be miscarriage. Hormonal disorder, there will be miscarriage, and severe infection. Okay, you can see here the potential signs of the miscarriage: back pain, morning sickness inexplicably disappear, then vaginal bleeding, spotting vaginal bleeding, more clots, and the regular period, like the regular period. Okay, then at last the stillbirth. What is stillbirth? Here you can see, you can, I think you will understand what stillbirth by seeing this picture. The mother is cried and the baby is on the mother's chest, means the maybe the baby is dead, maybe the baby is in the risk, but stillbirth means the baby's vital signs are not active. Means is the vital signs are not active, then the baby is dead. If the baby is birth without any vaginal sign, if the all the vaginal signs are absent in the baby during delivery, and that's known as stillbirth. Okay, it is the stillbirth is the birth of the baby after the age of the viability, when it has no vital functions. There is no vital function at birth, that is no heart rate, no umbilical pulsation. Okay, then that's baby is already dead, that's known as stillbirth. What are the causes of stillbirth? Bacterial infection, chromosomal aberration, maternal diabetes, high BP, including preeclampsia, maternal consumption of the recreational drugs, placental abruption, physical trauma, and radiation poisoning. These all are the causes of the stillbirth. Okay, then overall we cover the terms used in the obstetric. Okay, thanks all of you, and it's my request, if you understand my topics and you like my video, then just like, share and subscribe my channel, and be kindly share my videos to others who will need to understand about them, who will have necessary for them. Okay, thanks. all of you. Thanks.